Good afternoon, Antigua and Barbuda, and to everyone who is joining us on our tropical weather update for the 3rd of December 2024. I am a meteorologist, Jalil Jacobs, and I'm joined by my colleague,
Joyella Williams.
And we're here to bring you today's tropical weather outlook, as well as the hurricane season 2024 summary. And as of the 30th of November, this year's hurricane season is officially closed. And so we're going to bring you some quick facts and a summary of the hurricane season for this year. And we look right into the season summary. It was a very active hurricane season this year with 18 named storms, 11 hurricanes, and 5 of those becoming major hurricanes.
Namely, Beryl as a Category 5, Helene as a Category 3, Kirk as a Category 4, Milton as a Category 5, and Raphael as a Category 3.
This year's Atlantic hurricane season, the 2024 season, has been ranked as the second costliest hurricane season behind the 2017 season, with a whopping over $222 billion damage across the Atlantic basin, and it's ahead of the 2005 season that is in third place. Here we're going to take a quick look at the track of all the hurricanes and systems that would have passed through the Atlantic basin, and we see across in the eastern part of the Atlantic basin, quite a few storms did not even make the journey across the Atlantic basin, but curving back towards the European continent. And in the Western Caribbean, we see quite a few storms, a cluster of them actually, in the Gulf of Mexico. Some of these storms have started in the Caribbean Sea, made their way through the Gulf and into the United States. Some of these storms would have started within the Gulf of Mexico and made their way to the United States, and some would have started and ended in the Gulf of Mexico.
For us here in the Eastern Caribbean, we were impacted by 2 hurricanes. Firstly, Ernesto, that kept a northward track and it only impacted the Leeward Islands and the British Virgin Islands, and Beryl, that kept a southward track, impacting Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and made landfall in Carriacou.
Yes, so Beryl was particularly devastating to our brothers and sisters down in the Southern Caribbean in this 2024 season. Here are some more facts on the 2024 hurricane season. The first system was Tropical Storm Alberto, which developed on the 19th of June, making it the latest first named storm since 2014.
Hurricane Beryl, being a rare June major hurricane and the earliest Category 5 Atlantic hurricane on record, and only the second recorded in July.
Now, even though we have a Hurricane Beryl that's been recorded in July, that would have started in June and went into July, no storms were actually formed within the month of July.
We have Hurricanes Debbie and Ernesto being the only 2 systems that developed during August.
After that, the activity dramatically increased in late September after the peak of the season, with several strong storms developing.
Hurricane Helene developed over the Western Caribbean and moved towards Florida, making landfall on the 26th of September at Category 4.
Followed by Hurricane Kirk, which formed soon after and rapidly intensified into a Category 4 hurricane in the eastern Atlantic before striking Europe as a post-tropical cyclone.
October was also very active, with 4 named storms developing, all of which but one were hurricanes.
And the strongest of those being Hurricane Milton, which formed in the Gulf of Mexico and explosively intensified into the second Category 5 hurricane of the season with maximum sustained winds of 180 miles per hour. It was also the strongest tropical cyclone worldwide in 2024. So this includes all of the basins, being the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Basin.
In mid-October, Tropical Storm Nadine and Hurricane Oscar formed in quick succession, with the former quickly making landfall in Belize, while the latter rapidly intensifying into a Category 1 and possessed the smallest hurricane force wind field on record in the Atlantic.
And in early November, the last of the month of the hurricane season, Hurricane Raphael made a landfall in Western Cuba at Category 3 strength and tied as the second strongest November hurricane on record in the Gulf of Mexico.
Lastly, in mid-November, the last system, Tropical Storm Sarah, moved very slowly along the coast of Honduras before making landfall in Belize, while producing extensive heavy rainfall throughout the northern Central America. Sarah then dissipated on the 18th of November 2024.
And so Sarah would have been the last hurricane of the 2024 season, or the last storm of the 2024 season, and no storms were formed or developed after the 18th of November. So that's a wrap on the 2024 hurricane season. And now let's take a look at what's taking place right now on the outside across the Eastern Caribbean. And we see our latest satellite imagery is showing us some patches of low-level clouds that are just moving on the nice moderate trade wind flow across the Eastern Caribbean islands. Now these patches of clouds are going to bring us some intermittent showers throughout the next few days, mainly in the morning and the evening time. Further north, we see a cold front with an attached prefrontal trough that is moving across the Turks and Caicos Islands and Haiti, bringing quite a bit of rainfall to those areas. And in the Western Caribbean, we see that there's some area of disturbed weather with a lot of convective activity just northeast of Central America. And so these are going to spread some showers across that area. But again, now that hurricane season is done, we're still going to be monitoring for any development, although that is not necessarily on the cards for this year, but we are going to continue to monitor just in case we have that one rarity again. So for Antigua and Barbuda marine conditions, there's a high surf advisory. Be extremely cautious for all sea bathers. We're looking at waves at 1.8 to 2.5 meters or 6 to 8 feet, with swells reaching 1.8 meters or 6 feet. We're expecting moderate to long period swells across the northern facing and north coastlines of Antigua and Barbuda. So we are looking at a high surf advisory, so be extremely cautious for all sea bathers. Antigua and Barbuda this afternoon, partly sunny conditions, a 30% chance of showers. High temperature today of 32 degrees Celsius with the winds out of the east-southeast at 12 to 21 miles per hour, so quite a bit good breezy conditions on the outside. Sunset time, 5:32 p.m. Tonight we're looking at a fair to partly cloudy conditions, only a 20% chance of showers with a nice cool low temperature of 22 degrees Celsius or 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And tomorrow, partly sunny conditions, 30% chance of showers, mainly in the morning and in the evening times. High temperature, 32 degrees Celsius with winds out of the east at 8 to 17 miles per hour. So we have a little decrease in the winds tomorrow. Sunrise time, 6:22 a.m. for the sunrise walkers. And for our evening strollers, 5:32 p.m. is our sunset time tomorrow. So once again, thank you for joining us here. On behalf of the Antigua and Barbuda Meteorological Service, I want to thank everyone for joining us and keeping up to date with us during the hurricane season as we sought to bring you all the latest information. And we hope that you continue to follow us, share us, like us with your friends and family, and as we make regular updates and keep you informed. So once again, thank you very much and have a good day.